Good morning, it is the 12th of December today. It is my final exam ever, hopefully. I don't think I'll fail this one entirely. Still not completely confident. This exam is animal behaviour, so it is the one that I care about the most because it's the subject that I care about the most. If I was to do a master's in the far distant future, it would be animal behaviour. So yes, I have no makeup, my hair is completely out my face, I have my rune necklace on, and I also have a necklace with, if I can get it, I also have a necklace with real moss in it, which is the name of my first dog. I've got my grandmother's wedding ring, and most importantly, I have my wrist brace. When I was very young, I broke both my wrists, falling from a pushchair onto a concrete floor. Obviously I put my hands out because that's what everyone tells you. If you're falling over, put your hands out, save your face. So I did that and split my wrists. But because I was so young, the doctor said, "Oh, she'll be fine. The bones will heal. It'll be fine." Funnily enough, they're not fine. They've never been strong. I've never been able to do a cartwheel. Never been able to push myself out of a pool. The last time I did that was in France a few years ago, and my wrists were just dead for the rest of the day. Generally doesn't cause me much bother unless I'm doing heavy lifting or bowling as well. I can't do, or writing a lot. I do get a computer with my extra exam time for it. However, I've never done an exam on a computer, and I don't think my final exam of university is the time to be experimenting with how I fill out an exam. So I just take lots of painkillers, put on my wrist brace and get through it. The time currently is about 9:25 in the morning. My exam is at 1:30. I have to be there at least half an hour before, but because of my buses, that's when I would normally get to uni. So I'm planning to be there an hour before so that, God forbid, anything does happen, like my bus gets cancelled or is delayed, then I'm still on time. So I'll be leaving about an hour and a half, so I'm going to try and cram some more things into my head if I can, and we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a few hours time, possibly more bedraggled and a bit less fresh-faced. I just can't wait for it to be over. I just want to be done. This is like the second last thing I really need to do for this semester, so I just want it to be over. Anyway, I will catch up with you guys later. Bye. I am back from my exam, my last exam. I had to do 3 100-mark essay questions in 3 hours, but I get an extra 15 minutes per hour that I do. As usual, they tried to offer me a computer, and I didn't take the offer. Like I said before, I've never done an exam on a computer, and I don't think my final 4th year exam is the time to be experimenting with my method of answering an exam. Just adds more pressure than need be. But I did it. I think I used about 20 minutes of the extra time. I still time myself to the usual time, so of 3 hours for this exam, for example, because technically I shouldn't need extra time. When I started uni, I went to the disability inclusions officer to get advice on counselling through the university, and they were like, well, that'll take a while, but talk to the disability inclusions exam team if there's anything that they could do to help you be less stressed in exams. And there was this one time during my prelims, must have been 5th year I think, and there was really heavy snow, and we had moved out into a village. Our bus just didn't turn up, just got cancelled, just didn't turn up, no warning, and my mum doesn't drive, and obviously neither did I still don't, so there was absolutely no way for me to get into school apart from just wait on the next bus. So it eventually turned up. Obviously it meant I missed like half an hour of my exam, so they just said, don't worry, you can sit it during a different exam, but obviously you'll be doing your own one, well, you know, just so that you're under exam conditions. So I think I was sat in a PE exam doing my second half of this, I think it was a French exam, I think it was the writing. So I was sat there writing French while everyone else was doing PE. Obviously not doing PE, writing about PE. But anyway, because I'd been put into this room, which I wasn't meant to be in, it was in the library of our school, there wasn't enough seats, so they said instead we'll put you into the office, which is just, it's obviously added on to the library, but there's a door, it's an office off the side of the library. And then also I think I must have had like a couple of like papers and booklets and a Spanish dictionary and things like that, so they wanted me to be able to kind of spread out a bit more. So I was in a completely separate room. I did, however, not have an invigilator, because obviously there was only the one invigilator for that room and me. So, you know, if I had wanted to cheat, if I'd felt the need, I could have. But I'm a good child and I did not. I think my bag was away in my locker anyway, so I wouldn't have even been able to do anything anyway. Being in this separate room reduced so much anxiety and stress, and you know, I was able to stretch out, I was able to take breathers and not feel like I was disturbing anyone else, and not feel like people were kind of like watching me, or you know, nobody really watches anyone when you're doing your own exam anyway, but you know, if you start to feel like everyone else is moving on to a different page, you might start to get anxious. So it kind of completely removed that and made me feel a lot more focused on what I was doing, and gave me the space to breathe basically. So coming back to uni, when they were asking me like, was there anything that would make my exams easier, I said, well, this happened in high school, is that a possibility, is that something that can be done? And they were like, yeah, of course, you can be put in a separate room, that's easy peasy, done. But with that, you just automatically get use of a computer and the extra time. So I still always time myself to the usual time, but I know in the back of my head that if I go over by a minute, 5 minutes, I have that buffer time, I have that breathing space, so I can take a little minute and not panic as much. Like I said, I still panic because I'm still trying to time myself to the basic time, but I know in the back of my head that it's okay, you can take a bit of a breather, think about the question, think about what you're doing, stretch, drink some water, chill. So yes, I think I went about 20 minutes into my extended time, which I think is the longest or the most of the extra time I've ever used in an exam. But yeah, it does just get to a point in an exam where the extra time isn't useful. If you don't know it, if you can't add anything, if you're unsure, you just spend more time worrying or more time overthinking what you've already wrote. So I try not to reread or kind of overthink what I've written already, because I find that is a waste of time and stresses me out more basically. But yeah, it means I get a completely separate room from everyone, I get to spread out, I get my own invigilator, who sits and watches me for 3.5 hours. And yeah, it is very funny when they read through the rules, because they have to at the start of every exam. And there's things like you can't share material, you can't talk to each other, you can't share equipment, or obviously ask questions or pass notes. And I'm kind of sitting there like, well, I could pass a note to myself. So yes, then I made my way back and voted in our lovely general election, which I won't talk about because I don't really know enough about politics to be confident in talking about it. But I did the thing, I voted, and voting, no matter where you are, if you can do it, if you are eligible to vote, is an extremely important thing to be able to do. And we have the ability to vote, we have the democracy to be able to vote. So take that chance wherever you are, because at the end of the day, it is the people that vote that will make a difference to a political party in any country. Obviously there's lots of speculation about how democratic polls and elections are, but if we don't do it, then we can't really complain. But yes, as I was going into the polling station, I had some youths, some beautiful Scottish scaffy youths, laughing at my hair as I went in, which is a common occurrence. I understand, any colour it is a bit odd, even if it's natural coloured. It's a bit odd. I dress a bit odd. I wear a big long green coat, long black boots, and a big blue and yellow and red tartan scarf. You know, I'm not exactly unmissable. I am a bit funny looking, I will take that. It does make it a bit demoralising when you're going in to vote, to do something good, and you're getting laughed in, never mind laughed out. Don't be that peoples. Don't be that peoples. They're not good peoples. They're not cool. You're not cool. Get on with your life. There's better things to do. The thing was, these kids clearly weren't even old enough to vote. They must have been about 14 or 15, just hanging around the outside of a polling station on a casual Thursday evening. Because what else did you do as a crazy 14-year-old child? I can tell you, as a 14-year-old child, I sat inside and played Farmville and petted some dogs on a Friday. And then I finally made it home for a lovely cup of tea made from the tea leaves from my work, which is very nice, I have to say. So I'm gonna put on some food, maybe watch a movie. I need to do an Asda order, very exciting. Order some food for me and Arlo. So I better go cook myself and give Arlo some dinner, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me on this short and sweet rambly video about my last uni exam, hopefully. I don't think I'll have failed this one. It is quite difficult to completely fail an exam, but you never know. So I hope this is my last one. So I will see you next time. Today is the 12th of December. It is currently 7:20. I will see you in my next video, guys. Bye. The time currently is about 9:25 in the morning. My exam is at 1:30. I had to do 3 100 mark. I know, it was awful. Awful. I can't even finish myself. Just can't even. Do you mind? This is... Arlo. 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 Go lay down. He's here. Causing trouble. You're gonna put your paw in my tea.